On Black Friday 2021, we introduced the world to the Gladys overdrive. And a little while later, we did a Gladys version 2. But why did it need a number 2? We're going to get into that. Our Gladys pedal was built off the bones of a Bluesbreaker, which is an old Marshall pedal. Steve, are you familiar with the Bluesbreaker by Marshall?
I am.
Okay. What do you know about it?
Absolutely nothing. I don't. I've never used it. So before becoming a part of this company, I was not a gear guy. So this has all been very new to me. So yeah,
Okay.
no. I've seen the Bluesbreaker, but yeah, before the Gladys, I didn't know anything about it.
Okay. Well, there's a Marshall Bluesbreaker amp that was like Clapton made famous way back when, and then they just made a pedal that really has nothing to do with the amp, but the pedal is like a low to mid gain overdrive, and the big perk of it is that it would be very transparent, meaning that if you use like a tube screamer, your mid frequencies get like a hump to it, and it just is a little more present. Some people like it, some people don't. The Bluesbreaker, it'll just keep your EQ very flat, and it can get that little bit of overdrive to it. It's a really cool pedal, especially if you play a super clean amp. Like if you're running a Fender, like a Twin, or you run like an AC30 or something that your volume is really high, and if you were going to try to get it to dirt up, you would be deaf because it just has to get so loud to dirt up. The Bluesbreaker pedal will just give you that extra gain stage, so it'll push it a little bit harder so you can get your amp to have that light breakup, light drive sound, you know? All right, so here's Gladys. So I have everything at noon, and it's this. So if I push the gain, and then start messing with the EQ, like bring up the low and take the high back, or vice versa. And like if you just turn the gain down, like here's your clean, just a little preamp. It's that little bite, you know?
Subtle.
What's that?
Subtle.
Yeah. So I loved it. I thought it was great. I also had never had a real Bluesbreaker. I think I had played the JHS Morning Glory, which is their version of a Bluesbreaker. I had played a Walrus Mesner, I think is the name of it. I think that was their version. And when I started building clones, I was like, oh, I should make a Bluesbreaker. I like these like derivations of it, but I've never played the real one. So I built it, and I was like, this is great. It sounds cool. However, I ran into the problem that every Bluesbreaker runs into, is that in order to keep unity volume, you have to dime it. Like your volume has to be like probably maybe like 4 o'clock, like in order to keep it at what it would be when the pedal's off. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When I made my clone, I was like, man, I really got to push this thing like a lot of volume in order to get unity volume. And I was like, is that weird? So I started going on all these forums and everything, and everybody, because people love it. It's like a cult classic pedal.
Yeah.
Everybody was saying like, yeah, you got to crank the volume. That's just what it does.
And I remember that being the one complaint, like, can you give it more headroom?
Yeah. And that was the thing. So like when I made the Gladys version 1 is, I think we only made 52 of these. I think that was, because I remember being like, it's like a deck of cards. We had made 52 of them, and that was the complaint. Was like, it sounds cool. It does the thing. It does the Bluesbreaker thing. We added this switch for some compression diodes that make it a little more high gain. It makes it more aggressive. Mm-hmm. Turn that switch up. You lose a little bit of volume, but you can make up for it, and you get way more gain. versus the... I did it, and I would usually use it without the clipping diodes. I use it more like a regular Bluesbreaker. I was like, I like it. Some people like it. But yeah, people were saying we wish it had more headroom and volume. So we're like, okay, we got to figure out a way to do that. And then the thought was, well, what about doing more to it? What about the EQ? So then we came out with Gladys version 2 that we still have in production right now. And it has a 2-band EQ, low EQ, and high EQ. It still has the switch right there. We added a silent switch on it, and it has way more volume.
Yep.
Like,
and I remember you came to me and were like, should I add an EQ? Like, absolutely. That was, for me, that was like a game changer. Now, I love the sound of the Gladys V1. I absolutely love the Gladys V2. That's still on my board. I mean, the only things that have survived, the rest, all of my summer school pedals are on display in my house, but the Gladys V2 and the Class Reunion are on my board. And this is my 90s rock pedal. Like, every time I go to play a Cracker song, that's what I go to.
And that's what's super fun with it is, like, I think when I do it, I have the compression diodes off normally. And I keep the gain the drive right around noon. I maybe push it to like 1 or 2 o'clock. It's not super crazy, just on my board when I play with my bands. But if I'm just messing around, if I hit the compression diodes, it gets almost like as gainy as a Gus drive. Like, if you really push everything. Yeah,
it gets dirty. I crank mine, and as I do everything, it just full dimed. No, not really. But I really love the way it sounds, especially like I keep mine about, what's that, 3?
Yeah.
And it's just perfect.
I think I think this is maybe one of the best kept summer school secrets in that the science fair, everyone's like, it's so versatile. It can do a rat, it can do a tube screamer, it can do everything between. I'm like, yeah, it can. But I think this thing can do almost all of that, if in a different way too. Like,
I wouldn't say, I don't know if it gets ratty, but I think it has more versatility. The EQ is huge for me because just like being able to tweak your sound that much with the low and the high is great. The comp adds so much to it. It's like, completely changes the sound of the pedal.
Yeah, I remember playing the version 1.
And the silent switch, it doesn't hurt my feetsies when I turn it on.
Doesn't have the big, that's the version 1. Way quieter. I really love this pedal. I love Bluesbreakers. I think they're fantastic. They're similar to tube screamers on a gain level, I don't always love the tube screamer mid hump. I think sometimes it's like doesn't always work for the style that I'm doing, I think this is great because if I set my amp the way that I really like it, a Bluesbreaker will just raise everything. But as much as we all love Bluesbreakers, there are shortcomings, and that volume thing is an issue. Especially playing with different drummers who may be playing super quiet, and you're like, this is great. And then if they get louder and louder and louder, you're like, I'm going to have to redo my whole settings for everything to keep up. Whereas Gladys version 2 took that into account, and you can just have that extra headroom, which, if people don't know, headroom just means available volume before it maxes out and just gets entirely dirty. So this just has that available on it, and it's I love both the dogs. I do love them. Gus is my buddy, but I think I use the Gladys pedal more than I use the Gus pedal for more songs.
It's super versatile. It's a lot of fun, and it stacks well too with other pedals.
Oh yeah,
I always use that. Like, if you want that extra like grit, you want some more bite. put this on, like, especially with the class reunion, if you've given you got a really full sound and you just want a little bit of zhuzh, throw on the Gladys behind it.
Anytime you take a fuzz, anytime you run a fuzz into the Gladys as a like a preamp, it'll just take the like grittiness and just kind of fill it out more. And I was like, oh, that's super cool if you run that. And then running it into a class reunion like a big muff circuit will definitely fill that part out, and it's great. I can just gush about this pedal all day because it's my girl Gladys. I love this pedal. You should check out this pedal. It's really fun.
So the conclusion, did you fix the Bluesbreaker?
Ooh. I don't know if I'd say I fixed the Bluesbreaker. I think I overcame some of the Bluesbreaker's shortcomings. I think we took some of the problems that were with a Bluesbreaker. I'm going to hold this up as a Bluesbreaker. It's great. It does so much stuff. I think this one took the good parts and made them a little more usable.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I'm going to say we did.
I agree.
Let us know in the comments.